Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Good morning, colleagues. I thought that today we should interact on some issues affecting us as citizens. It is a known fact that the UPND government has been in government for the past 1 year and a few days. And in my case and several others, we strongly feel that when there is a new government, it will be important to give the new government a chance to settle down. And this happens almost in all governments where there's some level of civilization. Because forming government and running government is an art that requires a lot of time. So in our view, very strong view, was that UPND should be given a chance to settle down and look at various issues. In the past few months, the president has been making rapid changes. He has formed his cabinet and he has placed a few people. But as he goes around to make changes, I want to state here that it has to be done carefully. As a country, the change that we witnessed last year was not a change of, say, a foreign power versus a local team. The type of change we witnessed was that it was in-house. The Zambians decided, out of the political players, who would we pick? And they picked on President Hakainde. And it doesn't make other people less Zambians by that act. It is a trust that the people of Zambia thought, let's try President Hakainde. So it is more of a family issue of Zambians trying to chart their way forward. Now, along the way, we are seeing certain great issues, which, if not well handled, can disturb the peace of this country. One of the issues that I want to mention here, instead of being very broad, is the issue of the Director of Public Prosecution. The Director of Public Prosecution is a constitutional holder. She is not an ordinary civil servant. This is a person who is protected by the Constitution, like our judges. And there's a reason why it was felt that a person or persons holding such offices must be protected because of the sensitivity of the office that they run. When the government was settling down, there was one pressing issue that just emerged. This is an issue of KCM. The previous government had decided to appoint Miringolungu as a liquidator or provisional liquidator. When that was done, the new government thought that no, that was possibly not the right way to take. But as these matters were taking place, Miringolungu's contract to serve as a liquidator was somehow withdrawn. It created serious debate because remember that Miringolungu signed a contract with the government, irrespective of who was there. He signed a contract with the government of the Republic of Zambia. So these matters were taken to court. And as they were in court, drama started. We are reliably informed that a group of senior officers that handle the president, these are lawyers like the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, the advisors to the president, and some officials from the Ministry of Finance, decided to reach out to the Director of Public Prosecution that as the matter was progressing, it may not be in the interest of the nation that the matter should proceed in the matter it had started. So there was need to slow down the process, particularly the court process. And I think by now you're aware that some papers were exchanged and documents were signed, which were witnessed not just by one person, but several other people. And in the process, Miringolungu, who had taken the matter to court, decided to withdraw. As I state the process, how this thing started, I want also to indicate here that the officers who were involved in negotiating with Miringolungu did not make, in my view, a mistake. Because I've been Minister of Home Affairs. And where we see that the interest of the nation is at stake, you as Minister of Home Affairs should take a move to see the best way possible. You don't just sit. So those people who are negotiating with the DPP, we are doing it in order to save the state. And the DPP doesn't operate in the vacuum. She gave in and said, fine, withdraw the matter. Sorry. But upon the withdrawal, drama started. No, why did she withdraw? The withdrawal in this case means a nole. The meaning of a nole is that this matter is withdrawn temporarily, but you can effect an arrest at any stage to give chance to government. And for the DPP to have given in was possibly acting as a good citizen. Because if the interest of the state in which you serve is threatened, why not obliged? But the authorities saw what they call a weakness emanating from an advice and a resolution of a group of people that represented government. Thereafter, we saw the drama now of people writing, the DPP is compromised, the DPP is weak. And I asked myself, these people are saying the DPP is weak. This is the woman who has served throughout her career at the prosecution's office. And the people are taking these matters. They know she's weak, she doesn't know what she's doing. In those days, we had the same issues of the task force. This is a woman that was able to face President Manawasa on issues of legal matter that, the way we're proceeding is not okay. Very few people could face President Manawasa. But she stood, young as she could have been. So she has always tried to stand for the truth. And in this case, national interest was at stake. But people dramatized the whole case. After dramatizing the whole case, now the DPP was found wanting. And they decided to go and report her to the Judicial Complaints Authority that she has misconducted herself by withdrawing the case in court. My dear brothers, this is a very strange arrangement. The Office of the Director for Public Prosecution don't just exist in Zambia. It exists in all the countries. And the people know what that office can do, particularly matters that the state is involved. Surely you are asking somebody from some place to start judging the DPP. How? And if the UPND government is standing for the rule of law, is that the rule of law that we fought for? People all of a sudden have become lawyers dealing with constitutional matters. Yes, we have had a bad precedence in this country, that any new government that comes in, you want to change the director of public prosecution. And I prayed hard that possibly President Hakainde's term should not have been tempted to take that route. Because immediately you take that route, you are setting a precedence which is going to haunt you and which is going to haunt the country. We all know how Chito was haunted out, Mkerewa, the way he was haunted out. And I prayed hard that President Hakainde should take a different route. But the drama right now is that people are pushing the president against the wall. The president must act. And she must appear before the Judicial Complaint Authority. The Judicial Complaint Authority, soon after the matter started, again, you must understand the composition of the Judicial Complaint Authority. The people who are serving right now in that authority are serving lawyers running their own firms. They have their own legal firms, and there are people sitting there. And this is the group that we expect to try judges, to try magistrates, to try DPP. Are we expecting justice? These lawyers have got clients who may be appearing before certain magistrates, before certain judges, and later on even the DPP. Are we sure that will be justice? From the survey I've seen, particularly from other countries, and even here before, was that an organization of that nature, we always sought the services of retired judges so that there's no biasness. And because they have served as credible judges at one stage, they want to protect the integrity of the judiciary. But when you just organize lawyers who have active cases in court to try a magistrate, to try a judge, to try a DPP, the outcome of such a situation, you can easily predict that it will not be favorable. Now, why am I talking here? Lydian was not known by many people until when this matter started. When this matter started, people thought it's normal routine until when there was a report, I think last week or so, from the BBC that her life was in danger. She was visited 3 times by unknown people, and the BBC carried this thing extensively. Because it looked strange that what is happening to Zambia, that they should target a director of public prosecution. And this is a party, this is a government that stood on the platform of the rule of law. Now they have to target the DPP. The DPP must live in fear, run away from her home. Surely, is that the right thing? This injustice, I want to indicate to you, is the injustice that Zambians have not wanted for a long time. It is this injustice that motivated Zambians to rise against the PF government. I remember during the campaigns I was in Chipata, President Hakainde wanted to come to Eastern Province. He was blocked at the airport. When he was blocked at the airport, most of the people that approached me at that time told me, you people, you are making a mistake. The mistake you are making is, whichever way, what makes you feel that Hakainde is the rest of Zambia? Yes, you may be talking about Hakainde being a Tonga, Hakainde being what, but Hakainde has the same rights like anybody else. And who told you that for Hakainde to come to Chipata, he must have a special permission? From who? That type of injustice, I tell you, spread like bushfire. People are not happy, and they decided to react. The outcome is very clear. That in Eastern Province, where President Lungu was coming from, 49.5% decided to vote for UPND and President Hakainde, to demonstrate to you that Zambians do not like injustice. If you are going to govern and your main agenda is to inflict pain on an individual, no matter how weak that person is, I can tell you, you are trading on dangerous grounds. Now, President Hakainde is best suited to handle matters of this nature because he suffered humiliation. He suffered abuse. And I think, as he always talks about going to court, he went to court more than anybody else. Surely, do we have to witness this as a path of revenge that let us sort out this person? Going backwards, he says, who is Lydian? If Lydian came from the political background, we would have said possibly she has political interests. But this is a lady who left university, worked as a lawyer in the prosecution office, rose through the ranks until she became DPP. So to align her to a political party is something I don't understand myself. If she came from any legal fraternity and then she's brought in, sponsored by a certain political party, would have answered these questions. But almost the whole of her life, she has worked there. So what is the drama? No, is it because she's a woman? The woman must be moved. Or, since we are making changes, there's a new government, irrespective, we must remove everybody. As the street people are saying that, no, if the agenda is to remove everybody who is associated or perceived to have come from the region where President Lungu is coming from, those people must be removed. Are we setting a good precedence for the country? Are we sure that we are doing the right thing? Are we sure that Zambians who condone this, they will accept it? I've given you the example of how Zambians reacted when there was an abuse on the President HH in the opposition. They reacted sharply, and if you look at the numbers, those numbers, people think that only came from Southern or Western or Northwestern. For President HH to be president, he was voted in numbers by all Zambians. So all Zambians are expecting fair treatment from the UPND government. Not treatment that, no, this one is coming from Wapula, it must be punished. Immediately we start taking that route, we will have a problem. And look at the anxiety we are creating. If that is the approach we're going to have, imagine you are a magistrate, you are a judge, you come from Mchinga, and this is happening to your director of public prosecution, protected by the Constitution. How about you, who is not the magistrate? We are creating unnecessary anxiety in the country. And I don't think it is fair to President HH himself. I don't think it's also fair for the unity of the country to pursue it in that manner. My appeal to President HH is, please, I have been a Minister of Home Affairs. I have seen presidents in and out. And the people that make presidents unpopular are people that surround the president. When they start misleading the president, no, sort them out, we shall deal with them. Immediately you start dealing with individuals of that nature or in that manner, you create a problem, unnecessary panic. President HH is a president for all Zambians, irrespective. And this is why I said that we took time to enable the president to settle down, set his agenda for the best interest of this country. But those who are driving him into personal agendas, it will cause problems. Those who are deriving that, no, remove this one because he's a banda so that you put a Morita. I mean, gentlemen, it looks simple. It is dangerous. I was so shocked a few days ago when I checked a post in Rukuru. And these are UPND guys in UPND attire where they went to demonstrate against the council secretary, Mr. Sakala. And the reasons they were giving was that why should Mr. Sakala, deputy council secretary, be in Rukuru? And they were recommending Mr. Nyambe to take over. Is that the direction we want to take as a country? Are we sure that President Kaunda, after working very hard to unite us, we must start thinking on those lines that no, we in Chipata must have only the bandals and the periods to work in Chipata. Is that the route we will please us? Is that the best approach to government? President HH once more has a duty to move in and stop all this nonsense. It will not help the unity of this country. When I was provincial minister here, I was so shocked. There's one incident that happened of a council secretary who was in curfew. For some reasons, very painful reasons, people decided to chase or to sack that council secretary. So he came to the office to tell me that, no, sir, I've been relieved of my duty. Why? I had not seen this young man before. The only reason he gave me is that, I'm the younger brother to Hakainde Hichilema. So because you're the young brother to Hakainde Hichilema, you must be kicked out of the job. That young man stayed without a job. Possibly now, he may get a job. But purely because he was related to HH, and people could say, HH is boasting that he has got a lot of money. Why can't he give you the money? This is the guy who is entitled to whatever privileges he has as a citizen. Do we have to take that path of revenge and make sure that we inflict pain on others? Are we defeating the intelligence of Zambians who said, no, the path the PF has taken of segregation, tribal, and so on, this language, we don't want it. We are putting PF on the bench. Let them move out. Let the person they have abused take over. Then the UPND must do exactly what PF was doing, and sometimes exaggerate it. This is a dangerous path, which I want to openly indicate to my brother Kainde that please stop this. It starts in a small way, it can cause unnecessary problems. The other angle that creates problems for all the presidents who have existed here in Zambia and have lost power, and fortunately for me, I have seen most of them losing power. If you analyze why these people lost power, the major problem goes to the advisors. The advisors take a path of pleasing the boss. Even when they know that the boss, no, it's not right. They would rather encourage the boss that, no, boss, what you are doing is the best. If President HH was in talking terms with the President Lungu, I know that President Lungu would confess to him that people misled him. And these people that misled President Lungu are not people who are far. They are people that stayed with him. And even now, the people that surround President Hakainde are people who are close to him. Look at how they want to pit him against the majority of Zambians. Every day they want to have a court matter which is very controversial. Why? Every day they want to take a matter to court. No, we are appealing. What? President HH did not come here to be dealing with court matters. He is here to run the country and provide a service to the people of Zambia. To occupy him with court matters that every day there's this, there's a no here, no, there's a judgment here, is not being fair to him. Allow space for the president to work. And if they think in their wisdom that the president is not understanding, let them find another way of advising. Like the case of Lydian. There are people that sat, made a decision, in the best interest. And it is not a strange decision. Then when the president started questioning, they all chicken out and put the blame on Lillian, that no, Lillian is a problem. Why did she enter Nori? Now, we're talking about issues of life of Lillian and their children. And issues of panic. That why? Why do we have this? And the panic coming from people we never even expected. Citizens who did not even know what a NORE is, what does a director of public prosecution is. But to hear that there's a woman that had run away from her home with her children, what has she done? No, she had to stop her case. Why? No, to protect the government. If along the way we picked the rumor that no, Lillian was paid money by Miringo Lungu, Zambians could have been very supportive. Because Zambians don't want issues of corruption or nepotism or what. But just to say no, she entered the Nore. Why? Because of public interest. Surely, you present such a matter at international level. What are they going to think about Zambia? And these are competent lawyers. Our current Attorney General is not just a lawyer that was made a lawyer a few days ago. He has been there for a long time. He's competent, but why not advise properly? Well, that's all. Why take a route where you want the government to be balanced and then you want to put your president on the spot? To me, that is not fair. That is not fair, and my brother Hakainde should take a bold decision. Revisit his team of advisors. Are they being sincere to him? Revisit his team of ministers. We don't want ministers who are called praise singers. We want ministers who are going to tell the president the truth for the betterment of this country. Because President Hakainde is not presiding over a personal company or a personal firm. He's presiding over the affairs of this country. So those who have the privilege to serve the presidency must do that with diligence and honesty. My brothers in the Judicial Complex Authority, you are being unfair. The matter is before you. Quickly you write a letter recommending that she must be suspended. So where is the fairness? So where are you continuing with the court matter or the appearance? Because the verdict has already been given. You suspend her. So what do you expect Lillian to do? Because the verdict is already given that, no, move out. What is the purpose of the verdict? Okay, to cover up, because we have read from the newspapers and the BBC that she was attacked. So we must suspend her to justify that she is not entitled to the security. And even if you are entitled, you are suspended, at that level, she is still entitled to the security until the matter is concluded. So where is all this drama coming from? And now, we are dealing with a very alert society. They think, okay, if the issue is to remove Lillian, who has been at the prosecution's office for a long time, if the agenda is just to remove her, to go and pick a relative or a person perceived to come from a certain region, if that is the main agenda, then we have a problem. If that is the agenda, we have a problem. What will happen? Because President HH will not be there for good. Are we saying that if there's a change of government, all those that come, say, from Southern must be kicked out of government? When there was that attempt at one stage, did the people of Zambia approve? The people of Zambia do not approve such things. This concept of Zambia as a Christian nation, take note. Zambians want justice. Any departure from there, you are creating a problem. So altogether, I want to appeal for soberness. Soberness to the president. The president, my brother, there will always be people who are going to mislead you. Be extremely careful. There will always be people who are going to tell stories against each other. There are moments when presidents are bound to make a mistake because of misinformation. Be extremely careful with people who peddle lies. I also want to once more appeal to the team of advisors across. Please make President Hakainde succeed. At the rate they're going, no. You are forcing him to go somewhere which is not wanted. He should not disturb the feelings of Zambians. That is not correct. Zambians love each other. Zambians love peace. Don't take into road where we start now talking to each other ill, like the one I've told you, that you have a group of party cadres. I don't know why they decided to wear UPND regalia in Rukuru. Go and chase a deputy council secretary by virtue of his name. Not that he's incompetent, but because of his name that he's a Sakara, he can't be in Rukuru. And nobody from the government circles has condemned that. Are we setting a good precedence for our country? Are we fair to President HH himself? Because he is the commander-in-chief. He is the person in charge. Do we have to have that type of treatment over each other? So I've come to talk about mainly the treatment the DPP is facing, the unfairness, which is based on her constitutional mandate, and the threats associated with such type of unfairness. That we need to stop this in order to move forward as Zambians. Unless there's a question, I'll end here. Thank you very much.
I think there's a question for me.
Yes.
I would like to find out why are we blaming the Judicial Conference Commission when we see he was summoned, appeared before them on several occasions, but she refused not to defend herself because she wants the oath of secrecy to be waived by the president.
I've indicated that what is the composition of the people who are trying? If behind your back you know that the people are trying you have got issues, you are dealing with all matters, including criminal nature. The lawyers I'm talking about are representing various groups of people. They are bringing you that defend yourself. These are lawyers, they don't understand the Constitution. Does a director of public prosecution require permission to enter into an order? In which country? And from whom? These are lawyers who are competent, they understand. Then secondly, I've talked about letters which were signed. Can she use that in evidence in court? Because she signed those papers in her capacity as a government worker, director of public prosecution. And she has just said, please, can you remove the oath of secrecy? Nobody has defined that. No, you go and talk. If she talks and she produces documents which are called classified, she can be rearrested. And that's more dangerous than the issue we're talking about of entering an order. So why should she start talking to a group who are knowledgeable about the law and they are forcing her, you talk? What is the agenda? Why should we force you to talk when you know that, no, I have issues with these people? This is why I'm saying the composition of that team requires to be revisited. If they were competent retired lawyers, or the competent retired judges, would you create any suspicion? But these are lawyers practicing. They have clients appearing in court. And any client requires an instruction from the director of public prosecution, including those who murdered their fellow citizens. Would you be comfortable if you, as a lawyer, a competent lawyer for that matter? Okay, you have to prove your case. As you prove your case, you'll be compelled to produce documents which will be dangerous to you as the office holder. And why are you refusing if you are not afraid? Why are you refusing to remove her oath of secrecy? What is the agenda? If I want to beat you, and the people hold your hands. They expect you, know, why don't you fight back? But I've tied your hands. How do you fight back? This is the problem where we are. This is why I'm saying there's an agenda. And the way they are moving, you can conclude, no matter what, you can conclude that I've already decided on the verdict of Mrs. Yodi. Whether she speaks or not, they have already a verdict for her. The direction in which they're taking. So this is why, to me, she must have. You are not talking about Mangani as a politician. You're talking about Director of Public Prosecution. Her job throughout her life has been in court dealing with these matters. She knows the danger. So this is my observation. But I can easily speculate that we don't expect any justice from that group unless the matter is taken somewhere else. Anything else? So altogether, I want to hope that this message, long as it may be, will be heard. And more importantly, we have to avoid bad precedents. Bad precedents may not affect us. Bad precedents will affect our children. And this is the Zambia, our home. You introduce something bad, it will affect us forever. And this is why I'm calling for this press briefing to warn the people in authority to sober up and handle matters fair for the interest of the nation. Thank you.